Welcome.
Welcome. Food, love, laughter.
Food, love, laughter. Here we are on day 15 of quarantine, and we are doing this by sharing a little bit of joy, our little kitchen joy. You know, getting in the kitchen is so therapeutic.
Yeah, I agree.
It didn't always used to be that way. But before we get there, what are we making today?
Protein pancakes.
Protein pancakes. All right, cool.
Yeah, this is a gluten-free, dairy-free recipe that found from a little blog called Pinch of Yum, and so we're gonna blend up the ingredients, and then we actually have a hot griddle behind us.
That's when you hear that.
Yeah, that. That sound. That's the hot griddle. So we're gonna actually be like using the griddle, which was a bridal shower gift.
That's right.
Some 7 years ago.
And we got that idea because we hang out with some friends that when we get together on beach week, we go to town with food. We go to town with food. So we needed like a big griddle to make
a lot of food quickly.
And we didn't start with that, but I certainly stole that idea from Damon.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Okay, so protein pancakes. When we were like prepping this, you insisted that the wet needed to be blended and the dry needed to be blended separately. Can you talk about like why that's important?
Well, I don't actually know, other than I heard Alton Brown say it. And it makes sense to me because, and this is probably the reason, that if the wet gets in contact with the dry too soon before all the dry ingredients are in there, it doesn't get mixed up too well. Although for pancakes, some people like it a little like lumpy, and same deal with
lumpy and grumpy.
Lumpy old pancakes. We don't really like that. Well, at least I don't. So we go a little bit more blended. And
so
we'll start with the wet.
Yeah, so we start with eggs. We're making a double batch, so there are 8 eggs in here. And the reason why we're making a double batch is these protein pancakes are really good in the fridge, and so they're great for it's a grain-free, gluten-free, refined sugar-free recipe. So they're great for snacking during the day. So if it's like 3 p.m. and you want to make bad choices, then. Instead, you can grab a protein pancake, put some fruit on it, a little nut butter, and feel better about your day across the afternoon. So here we go. Eggs. I was so afraid it was gonna but it didn't. It didn't get me.
Not 1, but 2 bananas.
2 bananas. Also gonna go. Oh.
That one was a very sweet one.
Whenever I think about bananas, I think about our friend John Augustine, who was he was like a host in Cedar when we worked at the Lyric Opera, and we gave him a ride home once in Chicago.
One of the best hosts ever.
Oh, he would seat you so fairly. So he would
and he would tell people to wait politely, but tell them, I'm sorry.
So like making sure that everybody got 15 covers at the same time. And he was so great.
Yeah, 1 more wet to include.
Oh, thank you.
Teaspoon of
vanilla. So he was in the back seat of our Chevy Malibu.
We were dropping him off.
Yes, and he like sat down and he felt like he sat on something. And he goes, "Whoa, dark banana," because there was a banana that I had forgotten about, and so
it was in the backseat.
Yeah. So whenever I think about bananas, I think, "Whoa, dark banana." All right, so we're gonna blend this casually. Here we go. Oh no,
just a casual blending.
Just a casual blend. The most important part, the power.
Plug it in.
Plug it in. Plug it in. Talk about a good jingle.
Oh yeah. Speaking of recipes that stick with us, this one we've been doing this one forever.
Protein pancakes?
Pancakes specifically, but like protein pancakes we've been rocking for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we were first introduced to, so part of what we're using here is Arbonne protein, and I've had an Arbonne business for the last 7 years. And so but we started using the Arbonne protein like 6.5 years ago. So since then, like protein
so
pancakes.
good.
All right, shall we mix the dry ingredients?
Yes, let's mix the dry ingredients. What do we have?
We have oats that are already in the bowl. And then we have the Arbonne vanilla protein.
How many scoops of this?
So because this is a double recipe, it's 4 scoops of protein. Thank you.
Okay.
And then we have that little container has baking powder and cinnamon and salt already measured.
I wanted to make as much of a flair mess as I can.
And you did.
Yeah,
and then flaxseed is
now,
the
why
last
flax?
dry
What's going on
ingredients.
with this?
You know, that's a great, I think it's because flax and chia seeds tend to be high in protein, and so that's why it's added. The flax also will thicken once it hits liquid, so you have to be careful with flax because it'll get really thick really fast, and you'll see that this pancake recipe is pretty thick. And then we're going to whisk that together.
Whisk it.
So I hope everyone had a nice holiday weekend, Passover or Easter or whatever it is that you celebrate. We made a feast.
Yeah, we were about to talk about some eating habits. What did we have? Well, first of all, my mom sent us, out of the kindness of her heart, a spiralized ham. And also a ton of other dairy-free, dairy products. Dairy-full products that I immediately put into the freezer. I was like, well, this cheesecake sounds lovely,
right?
But we can't have it right now because we're over 30 and we have goals.
Yeah.
We have standards. And my mom felt bad about that, but she still got us a ham. I mean, come on, she still got us the food.
And we were able to freeze all the stuff so we can have it later.
We'll eat that food later.
For sure.
We're not heathens. We'll go back.
Yeah. So we made a cheesecake of our own, but we used cashews. If you watched the vegan cashew cheese recipe that we did, you would know that we're into the vegan cashews. So the vegan cashew recipes. So there was a spatula.
Yeah, that's what we need.
So it was cashews and lemon and a little bit.
Because this started off, we were like thinking you wanted a bit of a lemony dessert.
I wanted a lemon dessert for Easter. Right. It just felt appropriate. Like, I don't know what in your family, you can put in the comments, like, what is the, like, Easter thing, but, like, Easter ham to me, eggs to me, and then lemon. And so we had deviled eggs.
It's bright, springy.
Yeah. And
we're putting all this in at once?
All of it.
All right.
And then, Vitamix. And then we had deviled eggs, we had ham, we had
so we weren't messing around.
Sweet potato carrot dish, which was really good. We had
what
asparagus.
was the first dessert that we were looking at?
I don't remember. Something else like lemon, right? Like
yeah, something turd lemon curd that we could use.
Yeah, but you can make gluten.
That's something else. The other lemon.
Yeah.
Blending. And so, aside from the roasted asparagus, aside from the sweet mash, aside from deviled eggs, and finally prosciutto, dates wrapped in prosciutto with almonds stuffed in there. By the way, pro tip. When you have guests over and you want to create a really good appetizer snack, man, bacon or prosciutto covered dates with a little bit of cheese, but what we did was almonds, and then we learned we'll have 2 almonds stuffed inside the pitted date. That was the pit flying out of the date, and then you put a little sugar in there, and in the oven, and like boom. And we had coconut sugar sprinkled on top, of course. Anyway, we were like, there's got to be some dessert. There's got to be something. I remember I said, I was like, there's got to be some cashew cheesecake. And you said, oh, yeah. And then we found, yeah. So we then looked up and found this white chocolate lemon cheesecake.
Yeah. From Minimalist Baker, and I don't know if any of you have used Minimalist Baker recipes from her. I assume it's a she, but I shouldn't. From their blog. Holy moly.
Yeah,
all of them are excellent.
It's becoming a bit of a reference like library for us. We're looking for paleo-friendly foods or detox-friendly foods.
Right. Hot griddle.
Hot griddle coming in.
Let's do it this way. Look at that pretty griddle. Can you see it? Oh,
So nice.
This is great because, like, when I think about making pancakes and waffles, the one big thing that is that deters me is the time it takes to do all the individual things.
Yeah.
And so doing having the griddle means that you can do a lot of them very quickly. So we're gonna put a little coconut oil on this here griddle.
Even though it's already non-stick.
Yeah.
So, eating habits.
Yeah.
We would not have done the kind of meals that we did this Thanksgiving, this Easter, if we weren't on the Arbonne 30 and if we weren't aware of what we put in our body.
Yeah.
More aware of what we put in. I used to, I'm using her apron to wipe my hair. I used to, when I was in Abingdon, confession time, I used to eat at a Chinese buffet every day. In fact, I put it as a point of pride that I did so. And it wasn't really until I started hanging out with you that I
Special oil on yourself.
yeah
Okay,
that I changed my ways a little bit because
yeah, because I was not going to go to the Chinese buffet every day to hang out with Ezra. And they started to like recognize you by, if not by name, but then at least by,
they could tell
by
me.
face,
They knew
right?
who it was.
They knew, yeah.
I was
You would
sure
like go
I
and do
was-
like script work there and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I would do a lot of things there.
Yeah. And you know, like we both have a history with like
Script work.
fast food and convenience. Like you grew up on Army
Shower.
bases.
No,
All
I did.
over, and Burger King, right?
Yeah.
Which was surprising when you told me that there were Burger Kings on Army bases all over the world.
That's right. I think Air Force has McDonald's.
Oh, I see.
I think, but that's not exclusively true. That's what I remember.
Yeah. So like for you, for a long time, like a Whopper, the idea of a Whopper was like comfort food.
Right.
Yeah. And so, and it's interesting. I don't know if you all are experiencing this, but being in quarantine. Let me give me one of those bowls,
Yep.
just to hold this little quarter cup. So I used a quarter cup to measure like how much pancake mix goes, and so we have 6 pancakes on the griddle, and it doesn't take them very long to bake. And you can probably see they puff up a little bit, and that's because they have baking powder.
You do about this size. Do you think we could do a bigger one this next time?
Yes, we could. It's just they are more prone to falling apart. Oh, I also like to put chocolate chips on them.
On all of them? Let's do half. Let's
Okay.
do just a couple.
We'll do half.
Thanks.
So with the quarantine, like things that we're noticing, we're accustomed to going to the grocery store like every day or every couple of days. And so now figuring out like, all right, if we really are going to go to the grocery store once a week, what are the things we need to plan? And that means that we're meal planning and we're doing shopping lists. And like, so far, I think it's been really good. It's been a good adjustment to be specific about like how much we're actually eating, how to use the food that we have so that it doesn't go bad.
Yep.
That we're figuring that out
Yeah.
together.
You know, like the longer we've been, so for quite some time, 17, I was inadvertently in the food and beverage business.
Like in food service
In
jobs?
food service, yeah. Starting at a golf course in Georgia, but then just kind of like finding out, I'm an actor, so serving is not an unfamiliar thing. But certainly I have a lot of great friends from there that have shown up on the Facebook Live. And it has also taught me and us a couple things about being in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the thing about not being afraid of, your ingredients and like what you have totally applies.
Mm-hmm.
So was it 2 weeks ago? We found a recipe online for Chinese chicken. But
Yeah.
you wanted chicken and broccoli.
Yes.
And for the longest time, since I ate every day at a Chinese restaurant, and Katie said, no more. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I want to hang out with you instead. I thought that she hated it. No. Katie has some very specific menu items from a Chinese restaurant that she likes. Doesn't mean that she hates it. Just means that she has me. Otherwise, I would just go, one of everything, please. But
Will you have a spatula?
I will. Because how long are you leaving them on there?
It was like 3 minutes.
Nice.
So about 3 minutes.
Oh, look at those. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You didn't put a timer on. You just felt it.
I just felt it from the pancakes.
Yeah. Or you can sometimes tell because they'll like bubble around the edges.
Bubbling, 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 bubbling.
Anyway, we looked up a recipe for chicken and broccoli. It was called Chinese chicken. And that thing was good.
It was so good.
So good.
And so the thing with the R130 is it's no gluten, no dairy, no soy, no corn, no coffee, no alcohol, no refined sugar for 30 days. And the idea is that in removing something for 30 days, after 30 days, you put it back into your diet, and then you see if it fuels your body or if it makes you feel bad. And so, like for me, gluten is a big brain fog, dairy makes me really blotchy, sugar makes me break out, alcohol obviously dehydrates me, coffee makes my gums recede. So if I drink coffee every day, not only does it give me the jitters, but like on one side my gums start to recede. Your gums don't really grow back. So I'm not so into that. And like different people that have coached through the program will find like soy or like corn doesn't sit very well with you.
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
And so so essentially we look at like recipes that we really like and then just look for modifications. So with something like the Chinese chicken.
Which is totally possible. All
Yeah.
those modifications can be found.
Yes. So with the Chinese chicken, instead of soy sauce, we used liquid coconut aminos. Instead of cornstarch, you can use arrowroot or tapioca powder. And once you get used to it, it's actually kind of fun.
Yep.
To like science your way through what you can have that's going to make your body feel good.
Better cooking through chemistry.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we going to put these?
Oh,
We need a plate. Oh, good call. Okay. So, we're gonna, so you can see those are the ones with the chocolate chips.
You can feel the heat from the griddle.
So we'll keep some of these out and top them and eat them. And the rest of them we'll put in a container and snack on them for the other days. Do you wanna switch with me and you can show some of the toppings that you have here?
Woo!
Ooh.
All right.
All right.
So we got some raspberries. You told me a long time ago that you were a berry girl.
I am a berry girl. I love raspberries. I love strawberries.
You didn't
I love
remember saying
berries.
that?
I love blackberries.
There's strawberries, chocolate chips, of course, and then peanut butter. These, chocolate chips. Let's talk about that.
Oh, well, like technically peanut butter and chocolate chips wouldn't be around 30 peanuts because they tend to grow like moldy and that mold can affect people.
Let's do a big one on that side, please.
Okay, like how big? Like double this size?
Double the size. Let's get crazy with it. Let's take a risk, for God's sake.
How's that? Is that big enough for you?
Yeah.
Lord. Okay.
That's a better exercise.
That's it.
Yeah, so it's not technically.
Yeah, so we do the peanut butter. Oh, Ezra. We do the peanut butter because when we go to Aldi, which is where we do most of our shopping, they have almond butter. The almond butter has sugar in it, and the peanut butter doesn't. And then for the chocolate chips, there's a brand called Enjoy Life, which is like gluten-free, dairy-free, and that would be more like compliant. But the sugar, you just want to make sure it doesn't spike your blood sugar. That's the thing.
Yeah. Good.
How are those chocolate chips?
They're good. There were only 3 of them. The rest are on the floor, and I'm not eating those
Because COVID, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, we've walked outside, we've stepped outside, and then come in here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eat those in front of
So that's the protein pancake recipe. We'll be sure to put it in the comments so that if you want to make it, you can.
Also, one other topping, of course, maple syrup wouldn't be gone. But it might be, you might be wondering, it's floating in some water. Well, what we did was, because it comes out of the fridge, And this is pure maple syrup.
Pure.
Yeah. Pure, 100%.
Which is what my name means. Catherine means pure.
Lovely. Also, take what I did was take the kettle, turn the kettle on, hot water, and then boom, heat it up a little bit.
You might think, oh, you could just microwave it and put it in the microwave. We don't have a microwave. We haven't had a microwave for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes we miss it when it comes to like reheating food.
That's the only time, really.
Yeah, it keeps us away from like processed and convenience foods. If you want more information about the R130, holla. There's a group starting on Monday. Ezra lost 5 pounds last week. He's also been working out like crazy. And
my goal started off as 2.5 pounds a week, and then with a little bit of exercise and this. I don't want to call it diet because it's not really.
Yeah, it's like a
lifestyle
plan.
choice.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like. I mean, we've been doing it so often now.
Right.
I knew how my body was going to react, and so well, I know this about me, and I know I can work out like this amount of time, and so I lost double the amount of weight that I was projecting. Doesn't mean I'm not going to fail. By the way, failure is a beautiful thing.
It is.
It teaches us, if nothing else, it might suck for a little bit, but it teaches us where we can go next. And Katie and I are professional learners. That's why I love her. And anyway, so it's taken me a long time to figure out, this is a combination of workout and dietary plan that I can do. Mm-hmm. And we'll see where it goes next week.
And you've also been super focused on it, and what we focus on expands.
Right.
So,
exactly.
that you have been, daily, you're attentive to it, and it's not like, well, it doesn't matter. It does matter. And so, in the morning, you set intention, in the evening, you audit the day. After the week, you're tracking on an app, you're paying attention. Yeah.
Which, full circle, I mean, we have gotten intentional with our eating. It wasn't just for the sake of time, because that's what people say. Or some people would say is like, I don't have enough time to cook, or some of these recipes don't take that long, and you'll feel better. It's okay.
Just dropped one. They're hot. Okay, I think that's it for
that's
our
it
video
too.
today.
Yeah.
Do you want to stop it? Do you want me to?
I'll stop.
Okay, great. It's that red button down at the bottom left.
How do I stop it? I'm not sure how I stop it. Is it this one? Stay safe, y'all.